Hello there. Once again, this is Anton from Anton Will Bay. Thank you for stopping by the collection room. Today I'm looking at some comics. It's Femforce from the big series, issue 9 through 12. If you want to see issues 1 through 4 and 5 through 8, just look back in my channel. They're there. So we're going to look at 9 today. This is, of course, one of my favorite of all independent series, non-Marvel, non-DC. And it's just a really good book, and that is such a Betty Page haircut. That is really great. I've been getting some comments on these lately, and I've really been appreciating the comments. I don't want these all to fall. Just the dedication that some of these people that worked on this book did. And I've made comments before about how the book tends to change size sometimes, and sometimes it's color, and sometimes it's black and white. And the consensus is that the guys making it basically would do anything to keep it going. So if they had to make the book a little smaller, they'd do it. If they had to go black and white, they'd do it. If they had to do this or do that or flesh it out with this or that, they would. Anything to keep the book rolling, working under time schedules and conditions that probably no other comic book company would work with, and budgets that nobody else would work with, to keep making a book that they really believed in, that stays true to its comic roots in the 40s and 50s. So I keep hearing about stuff like this, and it just makes me appreciate the book even more. And so I love that. So that said, plowing through issue 9 here. I can't remember exactly at what phase it goes to black and whites, because I absolutely love the color. Love the coloring on this, and what a cool ending splash page too. I really appreciate that. Whatever it was waiting for is now approaching the Jungle Island. Tara, next issue, The Thing from the Stars. Now that's one I haven't seen. Fantasy Features. Definitely something I'm gonna have to look up. I was not aware of this. I'm assuming it's probably an AC book that is reprints of older stuff. I will have to find that out. Yeah, I've all my time with them. I have not seen that one, so definitely gonna have to look that up. Femforce number 10. This is so I've heard some people rag on Femforce covers for being kind of awful. This one is a little awful. I don't know. It's not my favorite Femforce cover. Not like that. That's a fantastic Femforce cover. But a day in the life of a jungle girl, and of course Tara is from a long line of jungle girls, and AC Comics loves to print those, reprint those. They're very popular with the series. But a new kind of insanity is about to intrude upon her sanctuary, and Tara will learn that there is no escape from destiny. And that's the kind of thing you get. Got a spaceman, space master. Can't afford to have no witnesses to what we're doing here. Brave bastards, aren't you? My, that's just a pitiful. Marco should not have done that. I like how they wrote her name in the top of the page that way. That's pretty cool. The old strangle him with your legs thing. I know I probably read these at one point. It's just been so long. So sometimes you pick up a book and do I remember this? Do I remember reading this? Yeah, I do. But it's a tentacled monster about to attack that helpless little creature. I doubt it's a helpless little creature. So it's probably, knowing space, it's probably its pet. I think those are stuck together, but maybe they're not. Nope. And like I've said many times, beautiful color work and beautiful, beautiful artwork that they do in these books. Absolutely wonderful. Now you're looking at the back. See, this would be like reprint stuff. This is AC Comics Presents a Fiction House Classic. So they reprinted a lot of Fiction House. Fiction House let all their stuff go like open and reprintable. And AC capitalized on a lot of it, reprinted a lot of it, put it in their books, and it was good stuff. And I think probably even added color, because I'm pretty sure the original Camilla would have been black and white. And there is a subtle difference, and sometimes it's hard to tell. When you flipped from the 1980s, 1990s Femforce, and you slipped back into a 1940s reprint in the back, sometimes it's hard to tell because they're so, like, they're the same. They're still making the same comics the same way. And, you know, later on it gets easier to tell when they switch, but some of that stuff, man, it looks so similar that it's hard to tell. And it just looks like, you know, more of the same books that they were making. Fiction House. I've never owned a Fiction House book. I've got many reprints of Fiction House stuff like Planet Comics that I have seen and things like that, but I've never been able to actually get my hands on an original Fiction House Planet Comics or anything like that. I know some collectors that are really big into them, but man, you've got to shell out the money for them, and I am poor. So I stick with reprints and stuff that I get from AC, but someday I would like to have like an original Fiction House or a, you know, something like that, a big top Fight Comics. Look into the hypnotic eye. No, don't do that. That's bad. You don't want to do that. Anyway, you can see that we're still leaving off slightly where Tara was the last time, because we still got the big purple monster going on here. It's called Janice. The art seems to have changed or shifted slightly from the last episode. That is a weird type font to use in Americomics. Just looks like standard old typeset. Now see, whenever you get to a story in the back, you have to really think to yourself, well, shoot, is this a reprint of a 40s book or is it new stuff? Because you just can't tell. Sometimes it's so hard to tell by looking at it. And I'll notice, like on this one, inks are by Bill Black. Well, he's also the editor. Sometimes Bill Black is the writer. Sometimes I think he's even the artist. You know, he fills like every role that could possibly need to be filled for his company, for his baby. So that is a really weird panel on a typically melodramatic entrance as Night Vale. Expect as much mercy from her as she should from you. You are equally devoid of humanity. An interesting page. It looks like she's being attacked by Meeksies. But I can tell, I'm just going to say by the panels, this is a more modern story and not one from the 40s. That is one difference that they can usually spot. Is older books, their panels are more uniform and square. Oh my gosh, did they just lick off all her hair? That's disgusting. Oh, it's a villain's nightmare. Wow, that's messed up. That's hilarious. Nyoka, the Jungle Girl. It took me a long time to figure out how they want you to pronounce that. Nyoka. I believe it's Nyoka. Nyoka. But if I'm wrong, somebody I'm sure will correct me in the comments, so you just do that. Last up, we got Femforce number 12. Looks like we got Rad, Dragonfly, and Tara on the cover. I can't remember who this white-haired lady is. And for reference, this is 88 now. And Bill Black is the editor-publisher. He's also doing the stories and the inks. So, one man filling a lot of roles there. Well, I would hope so. So any type of villain that encapsulates your heroes into glass tubes is, of course, a classic sci-fi villain. Definitely something that you want in your comic book. This is like Dirk Hard Beef or Sleek Slab Man or whatever his name was from that MST3K episode. That's hilarious. Oh, he just spilled beer all over her. Oh, the things that cause a super battle. Looks like we switched stories here. But it almost looks like a reprint. It's got the tiny panels. Looks like a vintage story. But that's what I mean. Like, it's just so hard to tell. Because they keep making them the same way they've always made them. And that's to be appreciated. But yeah, I can't tell if this is 40s or 80s. Pretty sure this Dragonfly looks to be a more modern story. Only because I thought the character wasn't that old. Otherwise, I would say it looks like an older story, but shoot. I could have swore Dragonfly was one of their newer characters. It's certainly drawn and paneled like a 1940s. To be concluded in Femfantastic #1. Which, you should never have a story being concluded in a first issue. That's a bad idea. Bad on you guys. It is what it is. Capricorn Chronicles. Never saw that movie, but look into it. Femforce, The Night of the Cat. That is my next 4 there. So there. That is issues 8 through 12. Front to back, cover to cover. Let's even read the credits. Most of these are going to be from 88. So that's what they are. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. And I will catch you guys later. That's my story. Bye.